Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're joining you here at the Otter Talk for the Blue Otters Masters Week number 5. Me, Cherry J. I got Lesser to my left, Verticality to my right. Gang, we got some big games up and coming this week, so I'd love to get your thoughts. And if you want to introduce yourselves, go right on ahead.
Go ahead, Lesser.
All right. I'm Lesser. I'm the poster boy for DDG here.
I'm Verticality, ADC for the team that's beating DDG tonight.
Ooh.
Ooh. You know what? I love the confidence. That ego is what you need. And I'd love to get some thoughts because we got a big game tonight. I know one of you's got a little bit more bias than the other, but what do we think predictions-wise, just for this first game thrown up ahead, and then we can possibly go and talk about some of the other things that we got right up our alley.
Drop it, giving 2-0.
Yeah, LZDR is 2-0ing DDG.
Ooh, I'm also a fan of being wrong, but I think we need to take a break from it, Verticality.
Nah, you're just inherently wrong, man. My team is beating your team. Last time Noah and I faced DDG, we 2-0'd you guys.
That was also a slightly different situation with a slightly different roster. This time, your mid laner and top laner are in fact worse players, and my top laner and mid laner are in fact better players.
You're saying Noah's a worse mid laner than Setter, and you're saying Tasm's a worse top laner than Noah?
Absolutely. Setter was my GOAT.
Oh yeah, Setter is the GOAT, but like, I don't know, man.
That guy walked Scion mid, and that was wild. You need to get that guy back.
Dude, I would have run that team back, but there was other things happening.
Yeah, regardless, DDG 2-0s. I don't think anyone on this.
Yeah, LZDR is 2-0ing.
I heard LZDR's ADC actually may be one of the most boosted players in BOL, so that is slightly worrisome for me. I don't know how the bot lane is going to stand up to DDG's like powerhouse, but yeah, those are my initial thoughts.
Okay, man.
I was boosted. I can admit that. Yeah, it's hard. Definitely. Certainly not what you Well, what are we thinking here, boost wise? Got a particular rank you'd put him at?
Oh, I would maybe throw him in like the Diamond 4 range. Like if he's on a good day, maybe Diamond 4, but like peak, like average, I think around Emerald 2, Emerald 1, around that range.
Those are your old man hands. I'm not even gonna flame you. I'm not even gonna flame you.
That's fine. Again, it's honorable to accept defeat, and
it's not worth my time. It's not worth my time.
Still practicing that Jhin.
Well, we're disagreeing on a couple fronts here, but now that we've kind of thought of the current matchup that we got going on, let's move over to something we got a little bit special this week. We've seen it in previous weeks, but this time we actually are going to be able to get it on the Masters Division. So this is going to be our power rankings so far. A little bit of differentials between all of us, and I will admit that this was a bit of a fault on my end because, well, I'm going to be so dead ass with all of you. I did not realize that the standing sheet that I was looking at wasn't standing. I think I got it good to a T, but I mean, it's certainly my fault.
I mean, Lesser, I think we have a big disagreement at first here with you compared to everyone else.
The difference between me compared to everyone else is that everyone else judges us based off our past, and I judge us based off of our future. That's the difference between all you simple-minded folks and someone who has won more titles than all of you guys combined.
Ooh.
I'm sorry to say. You guys are still a top 3 team, but
no, it's fine. I just think that you are biased, and that's okay. Like being biased is okay.
Of course, I'm absolutely biased. Don't get me wrong, but my bias is normally correct. I'm gonna be honest with you. My bias normally comes from a point of reason. So I don't think my bias can kind of just be said. Oh, the only reason. Like if I had like Maelstrom #1 in that, like of course, yes, I'd be biased in that situation. But it's not outlandish to think that DDG is the #1 team.
I know, and I don't think it's outlandish, but I think in current form, I think you're wrong.
Well, I will say in current form, we had the scrim on Saturday, and of course scrims don't mean everything, don't get me wrong. But we absolutely blasted that team, and I think that team may have had 2 of the players that were playing against today. I could be wrong, but like we dismantled them, like it wasn't even close. So
Yeah, you did. You dismantled us in scrims. Last official match, we dismantled you. So
and when was that?
it was a while ago. So don't let the past.
Around a year
Hey,
ago. Around a year
hey,
ago?
don't let the past speak.
Exactly,
So-
that's what I'm saying. That the past
so
doesn't
so
matter.
today is a
I'm
clean
ignoring
slate.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Today-
We're gonna kick your ass today,
I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree.
and it's okay to be wrong. Just I would like a formal apology at the end, and I will be waiting for that.
If you 2-0 us tonight, I'll give you a formal apology.
And you'll quit the game.
Sure.
Okay. I got what I wanted.
Okay.
I'll quit the game if we get 2-0 too.
You already quit, so
I've given you equal odds here.
no. You have to rep us for a week if we 2-0 you.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I mean, I'm just looking off standings here, and I gotta say, Drop Dead Gaming, definitely not favorites for this game. What, we got 5-3 versus 6-1 in terms of game records. Obviously, relatively close in comparison, but I mean, you really think it's gonna be a 2-0 either way?
Yeah, I think whatever team loses game 1 won't win game 2.
Yeah, is mentally shattered for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
Series.
they have to accept that they lost to some bums on the other side, so it's like
Either
whoever
way
loses
it
game 1
goes,
is
yeah.
done. Yeah.
True, that's true. I mean, the mentality. I mean, I can already feel it just from the two of you arguing about this, but like, that's gotta be rough. I don't know if how the league will be hearing trash.
Outside of that, though, I think the rest of Shurima is pretty. It's very. I don't want to say mimics like how LTA North is right now, where there's a very solid top 4 and a bottom 4, because I think Ember Phoenix isn't too terrible anymore. I won't lie about that. I think they've stepped up by including J-Bot to the roster, but I still think the top 4 is a lot more solidified, and I think all teams can take games off each other in series in general, outside of the bottom 4, which the bottom 4 needs a miracle to win, which one of those teams did get a miracle.
I do agree. I think it's a clear separation if DDD's not throwing series to random teams.
We do that with AI-21. We got to do 1 in each league.
AI-27 actually, but yeah.
Whatever that team was. They cheated, that's all I know.
But I mean, yeah, I think the top 4 and bottom 4 are pretty clear. I think the top 4 can be put in any which way with us first or DDG first or Mint first, depending on how that series goes versus DDG.
I think Mint is a lit. Okay, everyone knows my opinion on Mint. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're bad, but I do think their mid laner and support are a bit suspect. I don't hate their jungle. I don't hate their top.
Fortnite got MVP of Immortal, bro.
Ooh, I think that says something. I think that says something. I think by the fact that there were like 4 Mint players on the top 5, I think that's justified. I think we can really take those MVP votings into consideration.
Yeah, no, totally not rigged whatsoever.
Absolutely. Like I think personally that Titan MVP race was one of the most genuine with players like Fortnite getting it over Troy, Loki Dosi, ZMT, Arya. I think Fortnite definitely deserved it. Like I think that guy may have been the best player in Titan Immortal, and he
like he just cleared everybody, bro.
Yeah, that's how I feel. But contrary, I think this Mint team's still good. Vertigo is a solid jungle. I think he's arguing for top 3 jungle in the league with Lonry, Violet, and all the other jungle.
Lonry's not playing jungle.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. With those people not playing jungle anymore, I think he's in contention for top 3.
I mean, I think the top 3 junglers are Prow, Vertigo, and Worshin from Emberwolves, right?
Ooh.
Argument for Lobster or Prow at 3. Not Prow. Argue for Lobster and Vertigo at 3. I mean, Emberwolves jungler is going crazy.
I don't disagree with the Emberwolves jungle. I think we need to take a look at this Prow guy, because I watched him play a stinky Viego game in Game 3 last week.
Played it. Dude, not everyone's going to have an amazing game every single game.
Have you seen this Troy guy? He has an amazing game every game.
Yeah, but he's a top laner.
Oh, so that matters. Okay,
Yeah.
we're changing narratives as we go along.
Hey, we're not changing
That's okay.
narratives.
That's okay. I understand. Evil Lobster always has
Also-
good games too.
Also, proud. Not proud. Troy on Yorick, Omega Lul.
All right, moving on to the bottom 4 teams here. I think we're all on an understanding that this Maelstrom team is kind of dog shit. Besides Knight, I like Knight. Knight's a good guy.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Galaxy. That team is kind of washed. Hextech Hackers, I think, isn't terrible though. I think they're like a 6th place team.
Didn't Galaxy take a game off you guys?
Ooh. Moving on. Moving on. I think we have the Mount Targon region as well. I think we can move on.
Oh yeah, I'm in agreement. The bottom 4 is pretty like. I think
It's
Ember Phoenix is fighting for his spot up, but like I think it's pretty clear who the top 4, bottom 4 are.
Yeah, I think it really mimics what we saw from AML this year, where there's like a quote unquote top 4 with LZB, DDG, Akuma, and Agency, and then AI-27 takes a series off of a 4 fun roster, and the same thing happened here. So there is a chance that whatever team ends up in that 4th slot, whether that be like Mint or Akuma, that if they like fall prey and lose a game to Gravity, I mean Galaxy, I think that there's a chance that
Ember
Phoenix
can sneak in,
Yeah.
know?
But I think it's also different because here in BOL, top 5 teams in each group get a chance to make playoffs. So I think Ember Phoenix stomps whatever team comes out of the other group.
I actually do agree with what your with Mr. Brandy fan said in chat. Bottom 3 are secure. The top 5 is a slugfest.
I can agree for most parts besides Mespa. I don't think there's a bottom 3. I think there's a bottom 1.
Yeah, there's a bottom 1 and then 2 teams and then the 5.
Yeah. But outside of that, I think Shurima is probably the more interesting group and by far the most competitive group. If Ember Wolves was in here, then it'd be a real fight.
Yeah, it'd be group of death. I mean, it
Still
already
is
is,
group of
but
death.
it'd be even more though.
Yeah.
Well, I believe we do have the second half of the bracket. I'm not sure if that's a thing. I don't know if our producer has that, but not brackets, sorry, the power rankings. Do we have maybe? I don't know if you guys put in any power rankings for that.
I believe I did.
Yes. I did, but hey, yep, there we go. Oh wow, Lane 0 as well, going to be pretty highly ranked there, and seems like we're all in agreement on that number 1 and number 8 spot.
Oh, poor Maelstrom. They lose the Loki Dosi roster and they go to shit. Oh no.
Yeah. No Costech, no wins.
That's that. You know what? I couldn't have said it better myself. No low quasi, no wins. But this group's I think a lot more. I would like to say competitive.
It's a clear 8th, and I think a clear 1. I'm looking forward to the Ember Wolves Hurricane series to see who clears out at 1. Obviously, I play for Lane 0, so I have to say I hope Hurricane wins, but I think it's a very, very, very close series.
Yeah, I'm not affiliated with Lane 0 at all. This fucking Archer guy, I swear to God, this guy may be one of the biggest enters I've ever seen in my life, and I don't know how he's still on the team. I lose my mind when I see this guy play. Are they undefeated still?
Yes.
Like, that's how Mickey Mouse's group is. Whenever Archer is allowed to be the second best team in his group, like that's so criminal.
Yeah, I mean, I think the top 4 are clear, any order besides Ember Wolves Hurricane 1. I think Dizzy and Gang 7 are fighting for 3rd, maybe 2nd, depending on. But I think Hurricane plays Gang 7 this week, or it might be next week.
No, Hurricane and Gang 7 already played week 1.
Oh, yeah. Hurricane won. So, I mean,
yeah.
Hurricanes beat Gang 7 and Dizzy already.
Yeah. Yeah, trust me, I know that. Don't care. Don't care.
So, I mean, like, who have Ember Wolves played?
Some bums, I think, if I'm going to be honest. They played Dizzy, too.
I think they play Gang 7 today.
Do they?
Yeah.
How did that matchup not get streamed? What the fuck? Why are we streaming a 4 fun matchup? the hell?
But,
Can't stand
like,
this.
I think Dizzy and Mirage are fighting for third and fourth. I think Hurricane and Ember were fighting for the top spot. And I don't know. I Gravity Nebula confuses me.
Yeah, Gravity Nebula. There was an old team in AML. Their name was like Lane Zero Blizzard. It was another Lane Zero team. I don't know if you knew them at all.
Yeah,
Criticality, but
your mid laner was on that team.
yeah, but she's grown from that point in time. But regardless, Gravity did like kick them in the shins, like to the point where like it kicked them out of playoffs. And I feel like maybe this Gravity team could kind of pull a repeat here. I don't hate Gravity. They are somehow 2-1, which does show the Mickey Mousity of this group. But I also think that maybe they could be like a sleeper for like a sneaky fourth, fifth seed if one
Yeah, I
of
mean
those top few small
they'd have to beat Dizzy or Mirage because Hurricanes already beat them.
have they?
Yeah, Hurricanes played the 3 teams under them in my rankings.
Hmm. Well,
Like
still,
I think Hurricanes a lock for top 2 no matter what.
unfortunately, they are. Unless they lose the Glacial Esports, you never know.
Yeah, if that happens, I'm having words with all of them.
Glacial Esports is a real team, I think. Oh, the bottom
Oh yeah,
three
they
teams,
are.
I think,
They
are good.
are.
Who are those bottom? Wait, who the hell is that pirate
Who's
guy?
that second team?
Who is the bottom? Who's that pirate guy? Wait, unironically.
They're not on the website. So
Oh, is that USAE?
yeah,
Oh,
USA Black. That would
that's
be it.
USA
Oh,
Black.
oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, those guys are done for as well. Oh my. Oh Lord, this group is terrible.
Yeah.
You know what team's bad when I can't justify putting Archer below them?
I think you just hate this Archer guy for no reason.
Absolutely. Don't even know the guy. I just randomly found him one day. And I needed to hate someone so badly. And plus, he ran me down on my active support.
I mean, yeah, but like I feel like that was also you inting.
Absolutely not. Echo support is probably one of the most real champions in the game.
All right, so Kiwi's playing it tonight.
Hey, if it's the right angle. If we have the Volibear jungle, don't get me wrong, Echo support will be locked next.
Oh, okay, got it.
We'll even fit in the York top. Look at the trifecta.
Well, yeah, I mean, for this Targon group, I'm looking to whatever week that Ember and Hurricane play. That's like
That's like the actual match.
Yeah, that's the match that decides these standings.
This one may be a slightly unconventional take, but like, don't get me wrong. I think Emberwolves is good, but I think like I know we're saying like if you slotted them into Shurima, it would be like the group of death. I think Emberwolves still only gets like third or fourth in that group maximum.
Yeah, they have a pretty clear black spot on their team. If their
Yeah.
jungler doesn't play for bot, their team kind of falls apart.
Yeah, I think from experience because even didn't Dizzy like almost beat them whenever Setter's on like a million ping.
Yeah, Setter.
I don't think it was like an almost win, but I know it was like
There was a whole conversation in Gen Chat after that one.
yeah. Which again, Emberwolves, whoop de doo, you beat a team. Took you long
You
enough.
beat a team with a black hole in the mid lane
Yeah, but like
and an even bigger black hole in the top lane.
you know, don't say that about Kodiak and Brian.
No, Ryan and Kodiak. I love Ryan to death. I mean, I was friends with him when he was in Travelers and stuff. But
They're
he's
good
an
players.
ADL top. He's an ADL top laner in a 600 cap league.
Whoa, so is Noah, but he swapped to mid, so it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think Emberwolves is gonna get a bit too big of an ego, and then they'll end up losing to like the fourth seed out of our group, whether that be Mint or Akuma, and then it's gonna be like a DGG situation in Titan where it's like, oh, well, that was fun. Which is it's real shame being in the Mickey Mouse group that you never get challenged at all.
Yeah, then you get your hardest challenge in first round of playoffs because you play a team that could be a top seed in their group.
Yeah, just like they missed out by one series by like 2 points in BOL because of just how everything worked.
Yeah.
So I think Emberwolves does kind of need to be cautious, if I'm being completely honest, because this team carries some of the same members from AML, which absolutely was horrid. But
do they?
Yeah, I think they have at least one or two. I could be wrong. I know they have at least one. I think Paradox is still playing for them.
Oh, okay, yeah, Paradox is still their mid laner.
Yeah, and I could be wrong on the second guy. I just don't know. But I
Might
know
be
they.
their support, but I don't know.
Yeah, all I know is that roster was horrid in AML, and now that they're
Yeah,
in the fourth,
they were a 1 seed in that, weren't they, on the draw show?
were they? I thought it was
Yeah, they think they
RDG
were.
was the
No,
one.
no, I think it was them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the. Oh, because didn't they have TSM Burger King as their mid?
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And I think they definitely upgraded from an ADC
Oh,
jungle.
this roster is much better than that one.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think they're also getting fed a slight bit of incorrect data by being in a really
This
weak group.
group.
Yeah, because whenever Archer is the second best competitor in your league, in your group, that is an issue.
Bro, you just hate this guy for no reason.
Absolutely.
Archer's my goat.
Archer has a 1-in-4 playoff making appearance. Evil Lobster has an 100%. That's all I want to say.
Yeah,
Yeah, Lobster's my goat.
that's
Even when he
fair.
runs it down. But again, I think the one thing I don't like about this BOL format, because again, it's probably like the best format we've seen out of AML and Titan and Risen.
I
To be
mean,
honest,
definitely better than last AML format.
very true. But I kind of don't like the fact that there isn't a cross group matchup, or like I know that's like really bad to say because I hate cross groups in general because it gives
Yeah, but I'd
teams
like to
unfair
see like an
advantages.
Ember Wolves versus us or Ember Wolves versus you guys or something.
I want to see an Emeralds versus Mint matchup like that.
That would
I
be
think
I
that would
think that would be good. Yeah.
like just have like every team in here. Like again, I think we do lane 0 Hurricane versus DDG, so Lobster can humble Archer. But I think I really wish that there was a cross group, but I understand the fact that there's not because of the fact that there's just no reason
Yeah.
to have one.
Yeah, there's no reason to have one, but I understand why you would want one.
Isn't there like a pseudo cross group before playoffs? Because don't like the 1 seeds, 2 seeds, 3 seeds play for seeding, or am I wrong?
Well, I think the 1 seeds just take the bye. No.
I'll be honest, I don't know because the 4 and 5 seeds play for the last spot, and I thought the other seeds play for like.
Well, if
Does
the four
BOL
and
let
five,
you choose?
if the 4 and 5 seeds play for the last spot, then the 1 seeds slot in, and then
Hmm.
the 2 seeds slot in, and then the 4s play the 1s, and the 3s play the 2s. No.
We need to bring back the best team getting able to choose their opponents. I'm waiting for that.
That might be how this playoff is run. I don't know.
I hope so. That'd be a lot more fun. But regardless, again, this in general, this Targon group is like just a 1 middle 6 bottom 1 team group, and it's
You
I
say that, but
still
we
think
haven't seen Hurricane and Wolves play.
this could be true, but I think if Hurricane beats Wolves, it's like there's a top 2 at that point, but the top 2 is still not that good.
I mean, I think there's just a top 2 in this group because they're both undefeated still, as of right now.
They both played Gang 7, haven't they?
Yeah, they
No.
both played. They both played Dizzy, I think.
Yeah.
But one was a setter on 100 ping, and one was a setter on 15 ping.
This is true. I
And
don't know.
Dizzy lost
Maybe
both of those.
maybe Hurricane is somehow number 1, and just Archer gets boosted because of his team.
Maybe Archer just doesn't suck.
I don't think that's what it is. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen this guy play a few too many times, and let's just say, he sucks. I'm sorry. I speak for what I see,
Yeah, you
And
speak for
Troy
what you see,
has-
but it doesn't mean your opinion's always right.
and Troy does in fact have a 4.3k goal differential even when losing games. I think he's about to diff a Hazu into the top lane today. I think everyone can agree with that.
I'll agree for content. For sure. Definitely
Thank
gonna
you.
happen. Not even a doubt in my mind.
Hey, whenever Troy has a 6.3k goal differential after the end of this series, you'll be glad.
Ooh, that's a big lead, low key. I mean, honestly, what I'm kind of thinking about is like, how on earth do we all put Gang 7 in different places? Because my mind was off of the stats where like, all right, they got a lot of kills, but that might also be a bad thing with like 27 on average per game. Like that's a lot of kills, right? Like they might try and take some fights and might be a little bit rough for them. So what was going through y'all's mind when you picked these teams?
Let's go ahead.
I
I know why you did it.
Well, no, there's a genuine reason. I do think they could be the second best team. I think their ADC is really good. I just think Gang 7 has a really big hole in the mid lane, which forces them to fight a lot because they're always playing from behind in at least one role and playing from ahead in at least one role. So fighting is their best chance to get into most of these games, or at least take control over them, because whenever you've got a bit of a liability somewhere, like an old LZB team did have an ADC, you're kind of forced to take fights at all stages, because if not, most teams will kind of just stretch you around the map and like bleed you out. So taking forced fights and making people actually like answer you to objectives, and a lot of teams are not exactly the smartest macro-wise, so they will just come fight you. Taking those flippy fights around those objectives are kind of like the best way you can get into a game if you've got a hole in one of your positions, just by like turbo, like what's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, they're
Like
just firefighting. They're just firefighting the mid lane the entire game.
Pretty much.
Like, that's why I have him fourth, because I think Dizzy, because Setter got his internet finally settled. I think they're gonna start picking pace up. I think Gang 7's mid lane is a bigger black hole than Kodiak is.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
And Hurricane's already beat both of them, so I put Hurricane above them.
Okay, wait, thoughts. I have an intellectual question here for you, Verticality.
Okay.
Does Gang 7 improve with Lil Quasi mid? Or do they get worse?
No, because Kaztech doesn't play well without Loki Dosi on his team.
Okay, so you think Gang 7 gets worse with Kaztech?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, this was a really important discussion. Do you think any of these teams get better with Kaztech as their mid laner?
Probably Dizzy.
No.
Because that way Kodiak can go back top lane.
Well, what does that say about Ryan?
Ryan can take mid on Gang 7.
Oh Lord.
But I feel like I also have to say I can't disregard Optic Waffles that bad, because last time Noah flamed him, this guy dropped 2 nukes.
Hopefully he does it again and puts his team into a decent position where he doesn't fall apart.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully he shows out.
Because with that big of a hole in the mid lane, it's a little tough.
But I mean, I think we're settled on these bottom 3. At least 3 of us are.
Yeah, I think Cherry may have, again, just had the incorrect.
It's the cope. No. I knew, but I did cast for the team a couple times, so I had to put him up there.
You got bias. You got bias.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We all got bias one way or another. Now, I'll defend it with they close out matches quickly. They had I was looking at the time per game, and they were the second fastest with an average time of 28 minutes 30 seconds. Only one beating that is going to be USA AE Black. Obviously, they were the last seed, but I think that when it shows that they can close out games fast and they have a 2-1 record, I preference that as favorable for me. They're 1-2. Well, maybe I was wrong there. I thought they were 2-1 for some reason. Okay, so
yeah, normally teams that lose a lot and they have a low game score just means they suck.
Oh yeah, I've only casted for their Diamond Division team, never the Masters, so I could not tell you. Maybe that's a misclick on my end, but it did get Gang 7 in a position that nobody ever had him. So
that's fair.
Yeah, exactly. We had to get the content.
And which team was this you're talking about?
Yeah.
Ooh, that team got mad at me.
Oh,
I wonder why, man.
Because they suck. It's not my fault. You're a bad team. It's like, yeah, you suck, and I say that you suck, and you're like, wow. Why did he say we suck? Maybe because you just are bad in the game. My bad. Maybe improve your gameplay, and I will say nicer things about you. It's as simple as that.
I mean, I get it.
We'll if they end up doing well, will we be getting an apology video?
If Glacial Esports makes top 5 in this group, I will give them top 5. They have to beat fucking Mespa and USA Esports. They've got to beat one other team outside of that. I will formally apologize to this team.
As long as they can beat Gravity Nebula or Gang 7 or Disney.
They already lost the Gravity Nebula. As
long as they can beat Dizzy or Gang 7.
Yeah, they already lost to a 4-1 team. So it's like, Shuck, they're bad. I'm sorry, you suck. That is not on me. Get a little bit better. Like, who have they played? Week 1, they got their free matchup against Mespa Master A, so whoop-de-doo, we got a first win. Week 2, they got blown out, and when I mean blown out, I watched the series, it was embarrassing. Game 7 Mirage absolutely demolished them. And then week 3, they lost 2-0 to Gravity Nebula. So,
oh no.
Oh no.
they can beat the worst team in their group. I'll give claps for that. Good job. We can beat Mespa.
You guys aren't the best at being the worst. Good job.
Yeah, so good for you. Good for you guys. Stay mad.
I mean, what, the last chance is just going to be against Team Dizzy then to get that apology video, huh?
Unless Setter loses, I'm gonna have words for Setter.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my own issues with Setter.
I also think there's if they somehow beat Hurricane or Emeralds, then maybe we have an apology though.
Yeah, this is true. If they beat one of the top teams, I'll come out and say sorry, but God, this team's bad. They need some roster changes. Maybe they add J-Bot.
Team already did that.
Ooh.
After beating you, actually.
I'm really sad about that. I really wish that we would have been able to play Ember Phoenix whenever they had J-Bot. That would have been funny. That would have been content.
What's more content? You guys facing Jordan Bot or playing us?
Yeah, it's a close one. I know this one may be biased just because I've interacted with Jordan Bot for over a year when he was on our team, so I think I'm gonna have to say Jordan Bot. But
no, I mean that's fair. I mean, Neversaw versus Jordan Bot. That's for the ages.
Hey, I think those two individuals had a very close connection and were very kind to one another.
For sure. It's only kindness there.
Yeah, I think there's only love between those two players. It's that competitive integrity that they have and the respect for one another as players.
It's that competitive environment.
Yeah, they just believe in each other and they push each other to strive to be better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what I'm thinking? You get Glacial Esports, you bring in Archer, like that might be it. That might be it. Imagine. Because like, here's my reasoning, right? A negative times a negative makes a positive, and we've heard a lot of negatives tonight. So I think that would bring in. That might be the chemical reaction you need to get a win. No,
I don't know. Archer's been on enough purgatory rosters. Shout out Rex. I don't know if he deserves another one.
He definitely does with the gameplay.
Whoa.
Well, I'm making sure DDG is going to be like the team that plays them week 1 in playoffs just so we get rid of him. I don't want to see him anywhere else.
Yeah, you guys got to lose to us.
Ooh, maybe we lose to Maelstrom instead.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, maybe we beat you guys and then lose to Maelstrom to get our match against Hurricane in playoffs. I think that may be the technology. Yeah. Okay, yeah. You heard it here first.
So if you lose today, then that's just gonna be the reason why.
Oh no, we're winning today.
No, he's already got excuses.
Oh well, I'm saying in a situation where like
he's already got excuses. Don't worry.
Oh, for sure.
No, we're just winning today. There is no excuses. We will stomp them 1-0, and then Noah's gonna lock Zoe mid, and it's gonna be a quick 2-0.
If Noah locks Zoe mid tonight, I'm remaking draft.
Ooh, can we get a couple ban losses for that one?
That's fine. I'll take the ban losses for my mid laner and not be on Zoe.
I didn't even realize that there was ban losses for remaking draft, but is that an actual possibility? Will we be seeing Zoe mid if things don't go?
I hope so.
Not.
I can only
that would
hope
be
so.
ridiculously funny, but
I can only hope
not.
so.
If my mid laner's locked in Zoe, the series is lost.
It's lost regardless. Might as well have some fun, right?
It's
like
not lost.
You lost 3-0 to us with a better top laner and a better support. So like, come on.
Better support is crazy.
Isn't Scooter your support?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess terrible.
Okay, man.
Closing statements. We're running out of time here.
Oh, are we running? Oh, I didn't realize we were running out of time. But yeah, I mean, you guys got any final thoughts before before we head out?
I'll let Vert go first here.
DDG's losing tonight, and sorry to BOL or Eclipse. Scooter's better than you.
Yeah, I'll have to say, you know, verticality, I understand you've got some hostility towards me. I respect you as a player, and I won't make any mean comments towards you or anything like that. I just want us to have a respectful match tonight, and that's really all I care about, having a fun and integral match. I understand that you're over here having your ego, oh, we're going to 2-0 them, but no, I'm going to be more respectful and just say, I hope that the matchup today is fun for both teams and that we're able to take something from it.
I hope it's a fun match, too. We've settled the beef, Lesser.
Well, that was a great ending for us, but we'll see you both on the Rift. Make sure to stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a big game coming up, and it's been fun on the Otter Talk, but we will see you all right into this draft. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're joining you back after the pre-game interview. We will be heading straight on in, and joining me to my digital right is going to be Feedonomics here for the draft, and we already are underway, so we'll just have to wait and see what these teams are ready for us.
Yeah, I mean, pretty standard meta-looking bands. No LeBlancs allowed. No Aries allowed. Sorry, I had to jump up and down really quick and get comfortable. I'm not allowed to ever watch Silas in Masters. And Poppy. So let's see who is everybody talking about in the favorites and Otter Talk and everything. Help me
Well,
out.
we actually had two people in the Otter Talk from each team, so a little bit of a rivalry right there. And we did get to see some great banter, and maybe we'll see these teams really duke it out here. A lot of controversy. One putting their game in entirety of League of Legends on the line and will quit if they lose. The other one just saying that they'll represent the other team if they lose. So a lot of stakes for both teams here. And instantly, we see some picks coming out. Tristana, very strong pick, and going to be matched up against the Ezreal, potentially. Maybe the Pantheon as well, if that's in the mid lane. And obviously, it was a little bit more flexible on that Pantheon and Tristana. The Ezreal, a little bit more set in stone in where that could be played. And the Volibear is going to be locked in next. And we did actually hear, if Volibear gets locked in the jungle, then we will be seeing the Echo support come in. Will that be the case? We will have to wait and see. Most likely not, but who knows?
Can you repeat that?
If Volibear gets locked in on the jungle, it will be an Echo support to follow up.
No, I mean, thank you for the echo. About Echo. I appreciate you, Cherry. Thank you for walking into that completely unaware.
Oh my god.
So I appreciate that. Karma getting locked in, that's most likely going to be the support with Tristana. I guess technically you could play Karma as a top laner still at the moment, right?
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it, but
I don't think it'll happen. Gwyn, however, will be the top for LZDR. And then I want to say the Pantheon may be a jungle, but I do like seeing Pantheon as the support.
I mean, I wouldn't even think that Pantheon mid is like that crazy of an idea, but I don't know. I mean, that on-hit stun is really going to be detrimental to the Tristana if they do decide to just rocket jump right on in. And we do see the Rel get banned out next, so it seems as if DDG is kind of assuming that that's going to be either a jungle or a mid lane pick, not really expecting anything of the opposite side. And a Rise ban next, so really going to try and get rid of those mid laners.
Yeah, I mean, we're pulling the mid pool out on the side of LZDR. DDG already has their support locked in with Karma, I think, so they're guessing that the Pantheon's not going to be in the bot lane. So they went ahead and banned out Rel and Alistar, so yeah, now they're targeting the support player over on the side of Lizard. So we'll have to see kind of how these last two picks kind of slam out for both teams. I am curious on what this first lock-in is going to be. Show me the money.
One would expect they'd want to lock in. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say they'd want to lock in their support here, and they will be doing that with the Rakan being the option.
Yeah,
I like it. Genuinely, I think that Rakan and the Ezreal can work really well together, and I'm not sure. I think that there's going to be a lot of counterplay that this Tristana has to get around because Rakan's a really strong champ when it comes to being able to just get CC out.
Hey, I'm really confused by DDG's comp right now.
I suppose that's just a Jhin in bot with the Karma support, and then they got like Tristana for mid with Rumble top Volibear jungle being their like. I don't like it either. To be honest,
it could be a Rumble in the jungle.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It could be a Rumble in the jungle. That being said, LZDR's team comp seems a little bit more straightforward. You're gonna have
Mhm.
Ezreal, Rakan, Gwen in the top lane, Akali in the mid lane, and then Pantheon in the jungle. At least that's what I'm gonna take to the bank on with that one. And then over on the side of DDG, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's gonna be a Tristana mid lane. It's Karma and Jhin, Rumble in the jungle, and then Volibear top. I guess they could be flipped, and they probably will be, but I want to see the skin. I want to see the skin. I want to see the game. Um, I'm curious on how much trash they talked against one another during Otter Talk.
Not a whole ton. And honestly, towards the end, it got very what's the word I want to use here? There was a lot of sportsmanship with them wishing each other good luck and saying may the best player win. It was very sarcastic, but it's just good luck. Good luck.
Fair enough. I mean, we've got picks done. Do we even what are we looking at with team comps here?
I mean, I think LCDR very straightforward in terms of yeah, Ezreal's gonna be in the bot side. You got the Akali from mid. A lot of AP surprisingly with that Gwen and Akali, both solo lanes having AP based characters, and DDG kind of in a similar boat with the Karma, Volibear, and Rumble all dealing AP damage. And I mean, obviously, there's a little bit that comes off the Jhin with your W getting those traps down, but that's obviously a lot less likely to be anything of importance. So both teams probably going to want to run some kind of MR because of that. And I mean, yeah, I think that both teams certainly have decent compositions. I think that Tristana definitely going to have to match the Akali in terms of being able to assassinate, and we'll just see whether or not they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you completely on that. Who are you picking? We didn't even really go over that. I'm just gonna take DDG. I like this comp. It's too crazy. That's what my brain looks like on a reg. So
I think
that's
DDG
the
has
way to go.
funnier players, so I'm going to root for them here.
All right, yeah. I mean, there you go. There we have it.
Anyways, yeah, I think those are two very different reasons in terms of you being a little bit more methodical. I'm just going for the storylines, but we will be back right after this short break for the first game of our 3-game series. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't head anywhere because this is just the beginning.
涙よ星に瞬きを伝えて守るものがあるからきっと強くなれる語るべき言葉なくした星の守りでは時の果て夢の果て闇に立ちすくんだ風を呼んでみたんだ空に向けて誰かを呼んでみたんだ光求めたソリチュードかすかなレゾナンス確かに届くロマンスそんな流れ星たちを抱き留めた明日が見えなくだって乗り越えなくちゃって奇跡の奇跡描き未来へつなぐ Growing High 心のフォトンが銀河にこぼれて道を強く照らす Burning Bright それぞれの思い秘めた星の守り手は空からの呼ぶ声に導かれた重ねる手と手には言葉なんかより伝わることがある熱い心通じ合った確かなレゾナンス見つけるのはエッセンス目指した意識の先がディスティネーション答えが見えなくてくじけそうになって支え合い誓い合う絆でつなぐシャイニースマイル心のフォトンが銀河に溢れて道を開く鍵は My Starlight Heart 明日が見えなくだって乗り越えなくちゃって奇跡の奇跡描き未来へつなぐ Growing High 心のフォトンが銀河に溢れて道が開いたら羽ばたいてゆこうよ乗り越えてゆこうよ星空と溶け合っていつまでも行ける Fly High まっすぐ願いを世界に歌って新しい夜を
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We got a little bit of a tech issue underway, but it is fixed. It is handled. And now we're heading straight on into the Rift and ready for Rumble. My name is Sherry J, once more joined by Feedonomics, and we got epic League of Legends heading straight your way.
Yeah, the funny lane didn't happen like I wanted to, so the jungler is going to be the Volibear like we kind of figured before the Rumble was selected, but I did want to see Rumble in the jungle. Oh, speaking of rumbling in the jungle!
Oh, look at this early damage, but the rocket's gonna come through, flash extinguished, and that's Neversaw picking up first blood. And oh no, the Titans are falling. Lane 0 showing a little bit of maybe some weakness.
It's just the pregame jitters, that's all that was, right? You gotta lock it in and be ready to go. We did waste a flash on the side of lane 0, so that's unlucky if you're Pantheon. Otherwise, these are going to be regular jungle starts. You got red side for both junglers. Tristana deep wards to protect the blue buff. Oh no!
Oh, this Recon engage, it might possibly lead to something, but nothing just yet. Both sides going to back off and keep their momentum. And at this point, we are just going to see a little bit of a standstill once more, despite that Recon's early aggression.
Yeah, you know, just your fun little level 1 love taps. Ezreal's, you know, mystic shot not landing on there too, or else Karma maybe would have lost that a little bit more. Did she pop her pot? Can't tell if she popped the potion or not, but she may have. I don't think she did though. So that's what else we're looking for. May have a dog start whining over here in a moment, guys, so I apologize. Okay, I think we're okay. But yeah,
I did get to pick the brains a little bit of some of the players over on both these teams, and we kind of came to the conclusion and the consensus that no matter what happens in game number 1, the team that wins this first game will be the team to win it all. So as of now, Drop Dead Gaming definitely looking like they're going to make their opponents in lane 0 Dorado maybe drop dead. So we'll see whether or not something's going to change. The Blast Cone's going to lift them straight up into the air, but we see a bit of a scuffle. Evil Lobster going to really be able to control the... Oh, the Golem gets taken, but nothing. After Root's going to be there, there's the jump cone, goes in, and Brandy Fan with the first engage comes in. Evil Lobster able to get out, and they will keep themselves verticality securing the kill by the looks of it, but nothing yet. Stun's going to be there. How on earth? That's absolutely absurd. Getting away with murder. Evil Lobster continuously just stayed alive, and verticality kept on just trying to go for it, but it was to no avail. They get the kill, but a little bit too late.
Yeah, no, that was really well done by Evil Lobster, staying alive there, not allowing verticality to get the easy layup on the kill. I don't know. This is just a crazy game 1 already. A lot of action going down. And all of it going really in DDG's favor.
Big thing we really got to discuss, though, is like, if you're on the side of lane 0 Dorado rejects, already your bot and mid have no summoner spells up. That's going to leave this first Drake to be really considered. I Drop Dead, and Chicken Jockey taking the front of that bomb, completely maxed out, but not able to reset the rocket jump. So, not sure totally on the cooldowns there, but it definitely would seem as if this mid lane Neversaw is certainly looking to win it because of this early lead they've already gained. And they bought up the Cole as well, so they're really trying to just extend this lead by being able to just kind of play a passive lane and get that completely down to the 0 stacks. And Evil Troll are going to have to deal with a 2v1 situation, but it won't really lead to anything massive in the favor of lane 0 rejects. At this point, they are just kind of trying to play a little bit more passive on the side of Drop Dead and maybe just take leads where they can get them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're on the side of lane 0, there's no reason to really give up hope yet. Gold is a little far away. That's about 2.1. Pay of a difference. That's one big item-ish one big half an item. Ooh. Just the poke going down onto verticality. It's a lot to deal with too. So
look at that. First plate's already down.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're on the side of DDG, that's all you're trying to do is just keep that advantage, keep that lead, right? Oh, Prow.
I don't know whether or not I expect Proud to really be able to find much. Evil Lobster with not a big gold lead. Obviously, they get the extra ability power and movement speed, but it's not going to be entirely like a massive lead comparatively to what this Pantheon is packing. Proud, obviously, a player we've seen time and time again being able to show a lot of promise. So I think in this situation, if you are on the side of Drop Dead, like, they definitely just want to keep this momentum. And at this point, there is going to be a soul available, or not soul, sorry, a Drake available. The Cloud, I mean, it's one of the better ones for the position we're in right now. Obviously not amazing, but Evil Troy possibly going to fall. Maybe not. We do see the ultimate getting expended into no avail. The needlework will just kind of be utilized, and it probably will be forcing him back. However, right now, that's just a little bit too much hopium.
Yeah. No.
Oh, the flash! Hazem maybe being a little bit too dangerous, because when you play with fire, you certainly get burned, and at this point, Evil Troy might possibly be the one to get burned because Prow, level 5, one more level, and they might be able to pull off a nasty ult. We'll have to wait and see whether or not that is the case. They are going to be going in for those Void Grubs, so definitely not going to be the end of the world, and who knows, maybe if Verticality hits level 6, they can put up a little bit of a damage onto Evil Troy from that cross map. Maybe that's a little bit of copium as well, but I mean, with how desperate some of these HP levels got for a second, it certainly seemed like one player would die.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, we're halfway there. We're living on a prayer. 7 minutes into the game, we're still looking at, like I said, that 2.1, 2.2k gold lead. So it's not really gone one way or the other yet. As far as, you know, outside of DDG's like initial lead. I haven't even really looked at itemization yet. Let me take a quick gander. I don't know, man. If you're over on the side of lane 0, you want armor yesterday. And probably the day before that too at this point. That's a BF sword for both those ADs.
I'm really liking what happened here for Drop Dead. I mean, both of their AD carries have like a massive gold lead, both with a BF sword. The Jin seems to have a little bit of extra gold comparatively with that pickaxe as well. I mean, the Cole's going to be able to get you a big lead in the kind of like next 5 minutes or so, but right now both of these mid lane and bot laners are going to be extremely scary to deal with, and in a situation like that, you kind of have to rely on Proud to be that assassin to take him out, because Chicken Jockey, they've already fallen once. They do have the Hextech Alternator for a little bit of burst damage, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not going to really be able to connect too heavily onto either of these players.
Yeah, I mean, not yet anyways. Like, Akali had to get to the point on where they, you know, were a little bit / a lot bigger. The other thing that I've noticed about CS is the mid lane and bot lane CS like totals and leads are about the same too. But melee against range, that's where the big difference is. Scooter is about half health. That I would be worried if I was them. Doesn't look like anything's gonna happen as far as the gank is concerned though. I don't know. What do we got going on? How do we feel?
As of now, as we can notice, like, Scooter, so much pressure applied, and Branny flashing forward gets the finisher. Absolutely just stealing these kills. That's the third one. Starfall is going to come down in the top lane. Evil Troy a little bit pushed up there, buddy, and the needlework as well going to really show him out, and there's that door closed on their face. Oh no, bit too aggressive, and they will be able to buy Leandre's potentially, but ooh, that is rough if you're the top lane for Drop Dead.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of what you're going to need if you're on the side of lane 0, is you any doorway that you can start to crack open to get back into this game, right? Because we saw him in the bot lane, right? Like Jin gets to bullet number 4 and they disappear. Speaking of disappearing,
that's not disappearing, that's dropping dead. Never saw just hitting that W key and jumping straight on into this Akali.
Yeah, Chicken Jockey never saw it coming. As the rocket jump just sort of puts him away, too slow, and then, you know, you get your full stack and reset, and it's enough to kind of clear it out.
Oh, maybe we'll see a bit of counterplay with the Pantheon coming down. However, the rocket jump's going to be utilized and just gets this Tristan away. Never saw it's going to be never seen, and at this point, this Rakan possibly playing a little bit too dangerously. They will be seen by the looks of it, and ward for ward, trying to get a battle of vision down towards this pit. And I mean, I don't know. I think in a situation like this, if you're lane 0, you got to change something, because this tempo, it's going out of hand. Before it was like a 2.9k gold lead. At this point, it's around a 3, so it is definitely rough. Void Grub is going to be up. We'll see that Drake as well coming into play very soon, so we'll see how these teams do like to trade it, and maybe it's going to be seen as well with a lot of utility being bursted. However, this Akali will just kind of have to disengage and not really force themselves too far in. We see Bronican going to go in aggressive. There's their ult coming in from their Kron. True Shot Barrage activates and getting straight on out with that Arcane Shift. A massive kill to bring this gold deficit even closer.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that was a big shutdown, right? I missed the shutdown.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's 3-0 with 1 assist. Like, that is absolutely.
So that going over to the jungler should be really good as far as getting them to the point on where they're, you know, ahead to where falling off is less of a problem. But, yeah, just the recall is happening bot lane. Nothing else crazy coming from that. Evil Lobster and DDG does seem like they are going to get this Drake for free.
Yeah, that might be worth it to lose the kill there on the Jhin, because there were 3 players in that bot side. The jungle, the bot, and the support. At this point, though, that might just not be it. Verticality's probably about to be stunned up, and the root as well, taking the turret offline. Brady Fan finds the kill and absolutely rolls them. Now we'll see the turret fall down as well. So it's kind of like what I was saying. Like, yeah, they lost the kill on the Jhin, but that was 3 players utilizing the bot side of the map, which led the side of Drop Zero or Drop Dead to be able to collect a Drake and Void Grub. Starfall's going to come out, and Prow's going to be able to do the work. Nobody in sight to support on an island, but it still seems like Evil Troy's putting up the work. Flash out, and they get the kill despite the odds, and Hazam's going to be able to close him out, but that's a little bit too late. With your jungle dead, it leaves you in a rough spot.
Yeah, I mean, that was really well played by Troy. This time around, like, you know, I mean, just a little unlucky on Hazam not landing that last ult charge. That would have been what was needed. And now, gotta watch out. There we go. They are in safety. Hazam does make it back under their tower. They are free.
This game is not looking good. This gold lead is starting to get really bad, and it really has just been the leveraging of players around the map. I mean, we've seen time and time again, this Pantheon kind of just, like, they're making good positions, and they've been making good plays to try and start up fights, but it's not going to matter. Hazam, they've been stunned up. They're forced to rotate away, and at this point, we will see the engage coming in. And oh my god, the counter engage is so good. This Rakan picking it up, and now we will see the turret taking the forefront, able to connect 2 shots, and having to drop away from the root. Do they even get the kill? Oh my gosh, getting away somehow scot-free.
Well, not scot-free. Evil Lobster.
Well, yeah, they got 1 kill, but I meant more for just the Jhin in general. The fact that they didn't die, and Hazam might just die here. Never mind, they will be able to get away, and some good stuff's going to come through. No stun from the Jhin just yet.
Yeah. Oh, Troy is hanging out down there with Chicken Jockey. Prowl.
Wow, this is rough. This is really rough. Have you gotten the chance to see the movie yet?
No, I'm not going. I'm not going to see the movie, buddy.
You're not going to see the movie.
I'm not.
That's so rough.
I'm showing my age a little bit, but I've never been a Minecraft guy.
Oh, I am so sorry for you.
I mean, I guess I just never played Minecraft. I just played with Legos and Kinects in real life, and that was enough for me.
I think in the grand scheme of things, though, the Minecraft movie isn't about Minecraft. It's all for the experience of being able to hear 30 16-year-olds yell chicken jockey while a pillager fight club is happening. You know, some of us like it, some of us don't.
That's completely fair. I think I'll have to pass.
Well, you know who's not gonna pass? Let me tell you, it's gonna be the support from Drop Dead, and a big engagement's gonna come through. Neversoft finally getting shut down. They've been on a masterclass performance. However, that tear is gonna end right on here. This gold deficit is starting to be enclosed and it's starting to dissipate. So right now, Hasm's gonna take a bit of poke damage, brought to about 50% HP. But this Herald, it's going to be the next strike and possibly going to be something you want to try and contest for. However, not a lot of players do contest. For any fans trying to get something, but Hazem just being able to dance right around him. Rocket Belts gets activated, Flash Force out, and Evil Lobster gets the kill. Now, that's going to be this Herald about to die. So, Evil Troy, can they find that steal? Obviously, it's going to be very, very unlikely, and they won't be able to get it. It's going to be Proud with the Smite, I believe, taking it out, and now Scooter trying to just force this way into the engagement, and might be a tower down, but a tower for a Herald, not the end of the world. Hazem trying to get something in the flash, both sides forced out of it, but Hazem, nothing to really celebrate there.
Yeah, no, I mean that was a really well done flash though.
Oh, for sure.
They're gonna quit forever if they lost. By the way, who's
I heard, yeah.
the game about?
Ooh, wow. This game, this has been an entertaining one for sure. So the Herald has been collected for the side of lane 0, but they are still down to Drake. So grand scheme of things, it's not looking great. However, we'll see whether or not anything can change as they collie towards the top lane, possibly to be taken down. But right now, Scooter, is in a very rough spot. No reset on the W, so now that rocket jump, it's just going to be 20 seconds or so before that comes online. We do see that their ultimate is going to be available, so possibly Neversaw is just going to want to try and play behind that volley bear for the next. Oh my god, I thought that true shot barrage almost stole it. That would have been so devastating, but nothing just yet. That's going to put him on soul point.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good soul. If you're on the side of we're not that tanky and we sure would take some tank for free. I like Earth Drake a lot, actually.
I don't like Earth Drake at all.
Why not?
Just because I think it's boring. I think you compare it to, like, Infernal or Hextech, like, it just looks worse in the grand scheme of things, because, like, you have it Infernal, you just do these cool, like, oh, pow, pow, pow shots where it just, like, does burst to everything around it and just looks cool. And then you got a Hextech where it, like, connects shots onto other things, like, it just looks so fun. And then you got Earth Soul where it's like, oh, I get extra shield, cool, I guess, but, like, that's not, like, that doesn't look cool.
Yeah, but it's extra resist, so you can stay in and fight longer.
But that doesn't look like anything, though. Like, getting extra resistance, like, yeah, I mean, you get it, you get a buff, but, like, I want things that I can, like, visually see, you know? Like, it looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't like shield. Shield just looks weird compared to, like, all the other cool abilities you get. Even, like, actually, I was going to say I think that, like, Cloud Drake kind of looks cool, but not really. Now, if we look back up towards the top side, we see a bit of an engagement going and sing, and maybe Hazem's going to try and re-engage, but not just yet. We do see Prowl up towards the top side, fighting a little bit, but nothing to really come off there. We might see Evil Troy in a bit of an engagement. And yep,
Oh.
there's going to be the Starfall. So now they're in a 1v3 situation. We do see a couple players about to potentially engage, but nothing just yet. No beans, and that will lead another kill. So this gold differential, it's not really declining too heavily at this point with a lot of extra. Hasm potentially going to allow this. Do they flash? Never saw no flash. So that bomb's going to dissipate, but never saw still connects the kill.
Yeah, that was really well played on their part. Speaking of well played, oh, he dodges the quickness.
Oh, and there's the stun ham. Scooter trying to get something. Evil Lobster having to force down the turret. Branny Fan getting the kill, and now there's the root coming in. Proud can try and get something. Never saw forced to jump and then flash into it as well. Such good play. Never saw putting up a masterclass performance, shutting down verticality.
Yeah, I mean, this is just DDG playing a really, really solid game. Zadicon is going to be the next thing on the chopping block.
Genuinely never saw my MVP. Absolutely absurd how good this player is being. And now, Otacon about to fall down. No, yep, they will be able to get it. Rudeness Otacon, that's going to be down. And there's the ultimate coming in from Chicken Jockey, but they don't find anything. Hasm's trying to get something, but the rocket jump comes in. Never saw another kill to pick up. And oh my gosh. 15 kills already on the board. Make it 40k gold. No Drake in sight, but at this point, it's only 2 minutes before that comes online, and if you can start getting a soul this early in the game, that's absolutely absurd.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out, if I'm on lane 0, what I'm doing to try and stay in this game. That's what I'm really trying to figure out here, and I don't know what to do. Like, who you try and hover around. Like, you have to find solo picks with, like, Prow and, you know, using the man launch to drop on in. I miss the Pantheon Circle. Man drop was such a cool ability. Oh,
we might see some possible skirmishes coming in towards the bot side of the map, and 3 players over here. True Shot Barrage going to be able to connect, and I believe it was all of them, which is kind of absurd. However, won't really be able to connect as much damage as one would like. Hazem's going to be in a bit of a tussle, but neither to fall somehow. Evil Troy, Hazem might just go for something crazy, and they do, and it works. Obviously, with the Starfall coming in, that's going to be a bit of overextension, possibly, with now double roots going to be there. Scooter going to fall. Never Saw connects the kill. There's the curtain call as well. Never Saw gets out, and they will be going straight on into the hands of Chicken Jockey, but not to really engage. The E will just be utilized to receive a entrance to get out of the fight, but that might have been a little bit too much of a safe play if you are the Akali. Chicken Jockey and then just back out, and it leaves the inhibitor to fall as well as the turret.
That gen does so much damage right now, man. Like, Branny clicks and they disappear. Yeah. It's a lot of damage for 20 minutes in, and now they've got Soul, so they're even, like, tankier. This is looking really bad if you're LZDR. Lane 0 is not in a good happy place.
We'll have to wait and see. Right now, lane 0, they are certainly looking rough. This is 4 Drakes collected. We will see the Elder spawning in 5 minutes, 34 seconds. So a very, very tall task to ask for, but honestly, I don't think that you really can call them out. They are 3-0 so far. Perfect within this season, but you can't call out either of these teams. Both of them have been showing so much promise, looking like they could go all the way, and I would not put one above the other. Obviously, in the end, I think the consensus was that everyone did have lane 0 Dorado rejects as the number 1 coming into this game, except for one player. That one player did attend this opposing team, so realistically they would have had bias. They would have probably assumed as an outside spectator that lane 0 would have won this game as well. However, in the grand scheme of things, that is never going to be the case. You never see games going exactly as they would be predicted. So right now, this upset, it seems very likely to happen.
I mean, this series is young. This is just one game of 3. Oh, but there's one person that's found by 3. Wow.
Oh god, and now the turret's down for the count for at least a couple seconds, and it just leaves this kill open for the picking, and it will be done so. So, it's looking rough. We see in the bot lane as well. Never Saw's about to force an engagement with the opposing Gwen. Okay, well, they're already, as we can see, Hasm's down for the count, and yup, Never Saw collect on it. Nobody to even try to trade them, and at this point, Baron's going to be the attending objective from the side of the dead, and now I think that that's going to be taken without any real contestation because you don't have your Gwen nor Prow, so it will be ridiculously hard to find any value on this.
Yeah, I mean, Baron's going to fall. Your Jin's about to go back and finish another item. No, not another item. Just buy a cloak. And then, not gonna pull freak there. And then, you know, he's just, I'm curious on what that's gonna turn into. But yeah, if you're lane 0, I mean, Verticality's farming well, like, Chicken Jockey's not farming poorly. Prow is way behind in CS. But
I think Prow really just gotta... You gotta give them credit, though, because they've been the playmaker. They're, like, the only reason this team actually finds kills. Kern Call comes out, and Chicken Jockey finds their doom. Evil Lobster on the flank gets the next onto Prow, and that's gonna do it. True Shot Barrage connects, but connecting is not all you can do. These empowered minions, the Baron buff's gonna allow them to run straight on into the base, and there's the next kill. Has them down for the count. Evil Troy doing the work, putting up the heavy lifting is gonna be the minions, though. And now both turrets offline for a couple seconds. Troy trying to get some more, and at this point, that's gonna do it. Never Saw goes in aggressively. Second turret crumbles, and now GG's. It's gonna be lane 0 falling to the hands of the down and out. Third seed coming into this game with a 5-3 map differential. Drop Dead Gaming wins it out.
Pretty impressive, honestly. Like, I mean, like, well done all the way through. I don't know what you do here now. Like, what you got new bands coming in and stuff, and obviously we've talked about how this is you know, Fearless Draft, so it's not like we'll see the same picks again. But how do you approach this next match?
I think if you're Dorado here, you gotta change something because it's a change in mentality which they need, because they were literally telling us, like, whoever wins game 1, the mentality is gonna be so bad for the other team that they are just going to lose. I think that this was a good way for game 1 to go if you were the losing side, just because of how early that loss was, to the point where you're kind of just thinking to yourselves, like, okay, yes, we made a couple of mistakes, but it was a little bit of just an unhelped situation. So going into game number 2, if you can just believe in the fact that it was not that bad, and you kind of did play to your strengths pretty well towards that mid game, especially going off of Prow, who really did just set up so many engagements for you, like, that could be exactly what you need if you are going to be on that lane 0's Dorado squad. So I think that's the option they're going to want to go for. Feedonomics, what's your opinion?
You just can't let your mid lane AD carry and mid lane, like, you know, mid lane and AD carry go 9 and 8 respectively on the enemy teams.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean,
like, I honestly, that's literally the game right there. If we're gonna be real, like, Jin clicked and destroyed, man. That was disgusting.
Literally a Callisto level performance right there from both players. Like, absolutely absurdity. But we will be going to a short little break here. We'll be back with the second game draft in just a little bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere, because we'll be back right after this. Welcome back. We're coming back into game number 2, and as we remember, it was a very dominant and honestly one-sided game. Number 1, Drop Dead Gaming took the lead. This is Fearless Draft, as we remember, so characters we saw game 1 will not be seen game 2. Similar draft bans, except for that Jin Jabba, Ari, and a Poppy ban, both similar to game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, we're sticking around to kind of the same bands. Xin Zhao, they don't want to deal with. I didn't see him banned last rotation. But I assume that we just don't want to deal with any of the hyper-aggressive, I'm going to gank you junglers, right?
Does seem to be the case, and yeah, will be a Varus, same as last game. Syndra as well to be banned out. Last game it was not a Syndra. However, this time, yeah, they'll be taking it out. Last time I believe it was a LeBlanc for that mage in the mid lane band, and yeah, we'll see whether or not this will kind of play off dividends for him. And okay, Trundle gonna be hovered. Interesting ideology, and maybe it'll work out. And probably gonna be placed in the top lane. Very good at breaking up turrets. So we saw them with the Tristana last game, who does a phenomenal job. This one a little bit more proficient at it, in my opinion. I don't know if you have other thoughts on the matter.
No, I like Trundle as far as his jungle is concerned. Trundle in the jungle. Oh, and Jace got through this time. They were in the ban rotations the last time, so sort of prioritized and picked up by DDG this time around. I mean, yeah, Jace is a lot of damage. Jace isn't fun to deal with. Jace can also go top or mid.
I like Jace. I like Jace a lot. And I think the Orianna, certainly an interesting one. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised we do not see Prow running it down on the Nocturne. I think Nocturne would have worked really well with an Orianna. And I think that it possibly could have given them a little bit of an advantage when it comes to being able to run that with just like the ideology that they had last game of we want our jungler ganking at all times. So this plan, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. We'll have to wait and see, but there's going to be the Jinx locked in. Certainly an interesting choice for that AD carry position, but definitely not a bad one in any way.
No, nobody's ever going to be sad whenever Jinx is in their team comp, right? Nobody's going to sit there and go, oh man, a Jinx on my team, I don't want that. So really, really good, easy pickup by LDZ. There, do like the Jinx pickup. Zillion I also really like. He's a very fun support or mid laner. But it's got to be the groovy skin. Has to be groovy Zillion, or else it's not. It doesn't have the same power.
It is a little bit interesting. This game we've seen no AD carries locked in, despite last game we saw 2 of them for the side of Drop Dead. So I assume that that's going to be a Zillion support, just because I think that the Trundle and Jace, one of them, either they're both top and jungle or one of them's mid. So we'll have to wait and see. There's a double ban on the support coming in, and now it is going to be up to lane 0 Dorado to choose their final champion to be taken off the limits, and we'll see what their option is. And okay, yep, they are expecting some AD carries, and they want to get rid of as many as.
I mean, yeah, no, Zillion is definitely going to be the support. I think Trundle is the jungler, and then Jace is going to be their top laner. Or, like I said, Jace can also flex mid. But, if he is going to go mid, then Jace is going to be the top laner, and Trundle is going to be the jungler. Final answer.
Oh, okay. Kog'Maw. It has been a minute since I've seen a Kog'Maw, but I don't hate it. I think that makes it a little bit more likely that we see this Zillion in the support role, just because you don't really see like a very aggressive Kog'Maw, especially if you want to build towards your ult. Okay, Camille's gonna be hovered. I mean, that could easily be like both positions that you have left open, that support and top. Like, we've seen Camille show promise in both sides, so I definitely think, okay, and it will be top, the more traditional one, so Rel's going to be locked in, and that will be the entire composition, and possibly the entire game. So, we heard jokes about a Zoe mid, however, it will be the Orianna. Thankfully.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely going to be the way that it goes about it. Renekton's going to be the big bully top lane. Pretty easy to notice way to go there. I don't know. We'll just have to see how this goes. I kind of like DDG again because of the Zillion. If I'm picking comps for funny ways. I do like Rel a lot too though. So that helps out somewhat.
I think, yeah, the Rel Jinx, very volatile in the bot lane. I would love to see how that's going to be able to kind of just burn down some of these champions, especially some of the slower ones, like that Zillion, like that Trundle. I think both of them are certainly going to have their work cut out for them, and maybe this Kog'Maw is going to be able to shut them down. Maybe the Renekton can get in close with some engagements, but I think when it comes down to it, it's a very risky ideology coming in from the side of Drop Dead Gaming. They've run a bunch of like very tanky characters, whether or not it is that Trundle, Renekton, or Jace. All three of them can have a lot of survivability at times. So I'm liking the idea behind it, especially considering the fact that if you look at the other side, Lane Zero, not so much. No real big tanky characters besides maybe that Rel. Excluding that, like you got the Camille obviously, but there's not a whole ton of real like just follow through. So they're going to be wanting to play very just kind of up in your face if you are the side of Lane Zero and possibly go for some flanks. Meanwhile, that's exactly what Drop Dead Gaming wants. They want to just kind of build a pillar and kind of just stick to that keystone.
So I'm gonna have to slightly disagree with you here. There's a lot of just engage and chain like lane. Maybe I misheard you. Lane Zero wants to go in. They want to cause havoc, right? Sure. Like, and every single one of them can facilitate engaging for everyone else to follow up on. They have to make sure they're either doing it to Zillion or doing it off of the ult's cooldown, or holding, like, to make sure that they don't sit there and just have to kill somebody twice over. Or maybe the GA like cooldown is enough to keep them out of the fight, right? Like the animation that you have for them to win out. But I mean, I feel like if you don't kill the Kog'Maw when you try to kill him the first time against that team, you're in for a world of hurt, and like you're not in a good place if you have to kill like the Trundle twice or the Renekton twice.
I definitely agree with you. I think that you're right in a lot of ways here, because that Zillion is going to be a pain to deal with, because this is not a composition that likes to brawl it out. Like, this is a comp where you have a very set target in mind, and if that's a Zillion, then you're killing him twice, and there's not a lot you can do about it, because when you're playing this Vi with a Orianna and a Camille, like, you're all going to be wanting to dive on the side. If you don't do that, you're going to become uncoordinated, and you're probably just going to have to play from behind for the majority of this game. I think if they can run it right, it'll work really well. But I'm not sure I'm just convinced just yet.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, or well, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I am kind of curious to see how these team comps like go out, how these matchups sort of happen. Because Orianna against Jace mid, that's gonna be a fun matchup to watch. Vi coming into gank for any of these lanes is going to be really powerful. So, I don't know. We may end up with a game 3. I would implore that nobody goes anywhere when we go on break. And I assume we're going to be going on break in the second. Right, Prod? Right, Prod? You got my back, Prod? Thank you, Prod. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Welcome back. We're joining you for game number 2. As we remember, 1-0. A very quick game was commenced earlier, and let's see whether or not it happens again. As we noticed, Bernie Fan very pushed up in this bush, and Ham Scooter possibly going to be able to
they're found!
not really finding a whole ton. Yeah, that's a little bit rough.
Mm-hmm. Kog'Maw saying, nah, man, I know you're there. Ain't having none of that.
Oh, we see a bit of an invade on the opposite side of the jungle. Lots of players over here, and we might be seeing Prow actually getting called out. I mean, it really is going to depend whether or not they have anybody to back them up. And with the Camille coming over, that could really cause a little bit of a tear in the plans. And this could be rough. And Prow gonna get spot checked, and Prow almost falls, and it's gonna be a 3v3. But with Prow at such a low HP line, that's gonna be the real target you want to go for. So it's gonna be there, but Prow hit once more, has him really in a bad spot. But the flash forcing out both flashes, and point, it is just gonna be a bit of a standstill. Nobody to fall, but it will cause Prow to really have to just reset. So a small advantage where you can find it if you are on the side of the dead game, and maybe Drop Dead Gaming, they want to get some more, and maybe they can get it. Let's see whether or not in the bot side anything's going to change, because obviously that jungle, pretty big lead for this Trundle, and same thing with the mid, and Evil Troy as well, going to be taking a lot of pressure from Hazem.
Yeah, I mean, Hazem's got to do something here with the just with the ability to kind of, help his buddy out for losing his blue buff and stuff. Gonna have to hold his own in the top lane if he can. That's a pretty mean trade in Troy's favor, as Evil Lobster just decides that the top half of the jungle belongs to him. Like, Prow's jungle is not Prow's at the moment. Hazem has to watch out for this, rage bar. Oh! That was a flash.
It's a decent idea for Evil Lobster too. I mean, Trundle, you just get so much extra damage in something like a Vi, so you are gonna want to really just kind of stick your nose where it doesn't belong at all times. And Hasm forced to back off once more. Stun's gonna be there, and switching sides. Hasm gonna be shut down, and a early lead, just getting that solo kill so nicely done from Evil Troy.
Yeah, that was a really well played. Just like I was saying, that rage bar, you gotta watch out for it. So being you know at full enough to be mean and mad, just finishing off the other person pretty quickly.
All right, now we will see Verticality able to dodge out some of these bombs, and any fan's gonna be really just looking to clear this wave ASAP. And right now, nobody to really fall, but neither junglers in the vicinity, so very likely this is just going to be a lane that will go pretty evenly stated. And now Ham Scooter possibly, yeah, they will be cleared out by the bush, and the ward gives a little bit of information. We see a bit of info gathered. Ham Scooter trying to get their way on out of any range of bombs hitting them, and yeah, it's a pretty even lane state. We see an HP really going in the favor of lane 0 right now. Chicken Jockey higher, and also the jungler of Prow being at full. Obviously, they did have to back at one point for that to be the case, but still doing a great job at keeping this advantage.
And you know, Comet putting in work down here in the bot lane. Just that acid hairball is too much to deal with. The Comet's just gonna drop down on you every time with it too. No fun. Yep, see? Boop.
Arcane Comet certainly putting in the work. And a stun comes out. Hasm gonna have to really get a little bit of deja vu. And Evil Troy possibly gonna want to keep the engagement. The rage bar is minimized and possibly gonna lead him to be in a rough spot. But with a level up, Hasm definitely has a lot they gotta worry about. They want to be able to bring anything in. Prow's going to be over here, but not level 6 yet, so the Cease and Desist will be offline for a little bit, but they will get spotted out. Evil Troy, they're getting up there in terms of rage bars. As long as they have 3 potions, they should be very healthy. And there's the Drake as well. This is the other advantage you get when playing something like a Trundle. You can burn down these Drakes so fast.
Not to mention with your passive, walk away from it relatively healthily too. But yeah, Troy's just gonna sit here and kind of keep applying the same amount of pressure that he has been this whole game in the top lane. Camille is having to respect it extremely well. Scooter is gonna go in.
Oh, there's the connection, and Verticality is able to connect a stun. Very good. Ham Scooter still very high on their HP. That is the tank, so is definitely strong for having that Jinx being the one to be low, and maybe that'll give an advantage. And Drake is found. So at this point, we see the Vi over towards bot side of the jungle as well. Hasm almost gets found. Evil Troy takes the turret shot. However, nothing to really come of it.
You know, if you're on the side of lane 0, you just have to be like upset and just done with being found. Yeah. I am tired of being located.
Oh, I don't know if I love this. The Vi is going very low side. So Prow, they're not really prioritizing grubs, and I'm not sure whether or not that's the best play. Evil Lobster, on the other hand, is very close to being able to engage. We do see them going for it now, so that might be rough because we don't. I guess maybe Evil Trow needs the TP back. Yep, they will be TPing in. So realistically speaking, there won't be any contesting available because now we finally see the Vi going back to the fountain. So Prow is going to be a mile away from this. Chicken Jockey, airborne, forced away, and they won't be able to connect a whole ton of damage to trade it out, but they do get a little bit of utility extinguished. Now, though, I mean, lane 0, they are not in the worst spot. It's around a 1k differential. Chicken Jockey takes a little bit of extra damage. Hasm's going to be felt and possibly brought to their knees again, and they are going to go in for the counter engage, able to connect the slow, and there is both junglers nearby. I think in a 2v2 scenario, you do favor Evil Lodestar and or Lobster and Troy at this position just because of the output of damage they can engage on, and stuns there has them take so much extra damage they can disengage, but possibly a misplay with now the Trundle coming straight on in. There's the smite and not actually going to be able to get much off of it.
What do you has him?
I think they're just trying to bait out the back or bait it away and try and get this Trundle to stay nearby. Possibly a skirmish unlocked in the mid side. 3v2 possibly, but Neversaw is just going to be able to back their ways on up. Verticality takes a bit of damage. Troy's going to be able to really take the forefront, and Hasm comes back. Oh, what the? Am I crazy? I'm not sure. Hasm's going to be able to connect it on a stun, barely keeping themselves alive, if not for just a second. Flash brought out, and now this Vi trying to make their way on in. They will be able to connect the kill, and that will be Troy finally shut down after collecting 2 kills.
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta watch out. Like, you don't... Depends on who those shutdowns go to, right? And you don't really want them to go to Vi. Like, Vi is somebody that can use the gold effectively, at least early. So we'll have to see what else kind of goes down.
Kanjaki, they are really going to have to get something if they want to be able to come online. Right now, they're about equalized, a little bit lower in terms of their gold. However, Ham Scooter not going to have a whole ton to play off of, and they will be taking a slight bit of damage, as well as verticality. And I don't totally see a Drake being played for. There's still a minute 40 until that's going to be the case, and I think there is a good chance that Prow could support them and possibly find their way into that Drake pit and get the kill, and maybe they'll be able to do it. I think Prow's been showing a little bit too little like proactivity around the map, and that's not totally to their fault. They did start the jungle late after being found out, and maybe that's something that they could have done a little bit better on positioning wise. However, I think that's just kind of been the thing. Like, they didn't go for Void Grubs when they had the chance to, and that kind of led to them losing out on both objectives instead of...
Yeah, still, I mean, at least this game, well, I mean, we're at 1.3 gold difference over on the side of DDG. Hasm is just kind of chilling out. You do have the junglers both on this side.
Ooh. I mean, Evil
they're thinking
Wolves
about it.
possibly to be found out here. Maybe getting crunched in. They will be able to spot out both the jungler and the support. So really going to try and engage on this, and maybe that'll be the play. However, right now...
It might work. Oh, no, it's getting warded right now. Right?
Oh no, Evil Lobster. Lobster's just going to be able to really force him back under turret. Has them taking the damage now with the minions coming to collapse. It's the Zillion here as well, stuck on a mountain with many of enemies nearby. Has them first bomb activates, stuns there, and the feats of warfare go over to Drop Dead Gaming. Not for the end of the world. They do get a Drake.
I mean, yeah, like you're happy that you get the Drake, like, but you force the Cloud Drake to happen now, so nobody really wants the soul. Prow and everybody, oh, this Kog'Maw is dead, right?
I don't think
not.
so. There's a lot of players over here. Oh, maybe
So?
Chicken Jockey finds a kill, dropping the ultimate, and alright, decent stuff, but there will be the Void Grubs traded as well, so it is going to be the tempo kept, and honestly, I think that it might have been a misplay. Not gonna lie to you. Prow going for the bot side. Oh no, has them under turret, but you're not safe, my friend. Hextech ultimatum is gonna be operated, and oh no, despite that, it will not find anything.
Really well juggled on the tower there by them too. Honestly is what mainly happened there.
Oh, what on earth? Nerves of steel for sure to keep the back going. Oh my god. That rocket would have been absolutely nuts. This is an arcane moment right there. Well, nothing to be found, and honestly, I'm not even sure if the rocket would have killed. Now that I really think about it, no lethality is being bought.
Huh. Why couldn't that rocket land? I just wanted the rocket to land. Scooter hopping in to keep the bottom lane safe. Man, like lane 0's bot lane though is healthy.
I think it's interesting. We see the Kog'Maw going for a Dark Steel. I wouldn't have really expected that. Has maybe no flashes, I believe. Oh, never mind. Evil Troy does have flash. Do they try? No. Oh, yeah, has him. Gonna be able to back out by the looks of it. Evil Troy. Oh! Never saw it. Coming out of right field, able to secure the kill. And okay, I just looked at the bottom of my screen, and I think we might have found the problem.
What's your problem?
Well, I don't want to be that guy, but 0-5 at 13 minutes. What are our thoughts?
I don't know. Like, I think that's just got to do with they're using everything in the top side on Hasm right now. That's not really Hasm's fault, so to speak.
I agree with you to an extent.
You can only do so much when 3 people dive you underneath of your turret. You know?
Yeah. But at the same time.
What? Just give up your turret? Like, that's your only other option.
I don't know. Maybe it's not his fault. Maybe I'm like just not seeing the full picture here. Maybe you're right, and we might be seeing this go in the opposite way. Verticality takes a bit of damage. There's Scooter, forced in a bad situation, but not to be faltering. Lobster trying to get something, and oh, now the Vi's coming in from right side, and now forcing out the flash. Season assist, trying to get the engage, able to get it. Mega Death Rocket's going to come in, but it will be a resurrection to clear out the damage. So a lot of ultimates extended and no real avail. Only able to force out that Zillion ult, and now Evil Troy going in for the flank. There's going to be Chicken Jockey under turret. Verticality, first one to fall. 1 kill will be extended. However, Chicken Jockey still alive, but not for long. A double kill from Troy. Make it a triple, maybe a quad, but Prow is able to get out of the way. Hextech Ultimatum comes in and not to find anything. Prow with a double, and Evil Troy getting shut down makes this game even closer.
Yeah, I mean, that was... I can't say that it was the best case scenario if you're on the side of, DDG, but it was definitely a good thing for them to happen. No, other way around. I got confused by the Baron or whatever that symbol is in the top left. But yeah, if you're lane 0, like you got to be happy with kind of how that turned out a little bit.
I mean, it wasn't bad. Yeah, I think that lane 0 definitely, like, they got a lot of gold on the table. They were able to finally get Hasm, like, kind of online, so it definitely helped them in that scenario. And then, besides that, like, yeah, it just looked good. Like, overall, I think that they possibly could have played that a little bit better, but right now, it's certainly going to seem like either team could win this. There is going to be contention over for the Drake, so realistically, both teams probably going to want to try and fight for this. They're currently equalized at 1-1. Whoever wins this will be halfway to a soul. Right now, we do remember previous games, it was 4 Drakes to 0 converted in favor of Drop Dead, so maybe this one's going to be going a little bit differently, and it already will be with 2 going over for the side of lane 0 reject, so definitely a good start for them.
Yeah, and I mean, man, Zillion is doing so much work. Like, the W being able to slow down and speed up is just so hurtful at the moment, and by W, I mean E. W is the reset on his abilities, isn't it? I'm talking about the actual movement speed ability.
Something
low.
Something I'd just like to note here is the fact that, like, when you really think about it, lane 0 Dorado rejects, they have a 2.9% dragon conversion rate. That is the second highest currently in the Blue Otter Masters division. And the fact that they've only been able to convert 2 out of the 7 we've seen, it's kind of surprising. So realistically, we'll see whether or not they can do much. Obviously, Drop Dead Gaming just falling a little bit closer behind at 2.8. So definitely very close in terms of their Drake conversion rate. But I think that when you really want to win this, you've got to make it a little bit higher. Evil Troy about to be called out, and there's going to be the ult coming in from the Chicken Jockey. Going to be able to do lots. Evil Lobster going to be able to get the trade, and it will be a double kill for the Lobster himself. No more to be converted. A 3v3 possibly to be found. Scooter trying to get a little bit of an engage online, but not to find much. And Evil Scooter's going to be able to just back off, looking to possibly go for that Drake, I believe. No, Drake's offline. I don't know what the plan's going to be, and maybe they're just going for a flank here, because now we do see this Sorrel walking straight on into him. Stun's going to be there. Ham Scooter trying to find something. Bomb's going to allow him to get a little bit closer, making some very close combat, dropping that horse right over the wall, and now Granny Fans finds the mid lane turret. Extra gold converted. TP goes out on the top lane. All bases covered, and it's going to be Drop Dead Gaming really just taking this lead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're just slowly squeezing out more and more of a lead as this kind of goes along. So it's definitely going to, it's a battle of attrition to say the least. Never Saw is in trouble though.
Ooh,
Well
Never Saw
baited.
forgot they weren't on Tristana.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
anymore.
kinda.
Unlucky.
Oh.
Oh, Scooter gonna have to have a little bit of a support 1v1 over here, and not really either one gonna find a whole ton. Maybe the extra players though will be the case, and flashes there. Season 6 X-Tech Ultimatum both coming out, and it is a secure on the kill, and maybe a bit too over aggressive possibly with a lot of ults expended, but not the end of the world. 3 players remaining alive for Drop Dead Gaming, so this Herald is all but converted already, and nobody really to leverage any type of combats over towards it.
Ults come back. You only get gold once. So,
That is true. That is true.
you know, spend your ults. Spend them if you got them.
Ooh. Let's see. I mean, I'm not sure. I thought that I really liked how this was being played from Drop Dead, but after we saw both the support and mid lane just kind of called out of position, it's giving me a couple of second thoughts. And Ruinous Otacon's going to be alive, and possibly both teams are going to want to try and fight for it. We'll have to wait and see whether or not that's the case. Obviously, up towards the top side, there is a couple of players to possibly fight, with that being Prow and also Hasm. Both very strong players we've seen time and time again, and maybe they'll be able to make some type of contestation, maybe just kind of tell the team and rally the troops over towards the top side. You don't really want to hand over an Otacon for free, especially when there is going to be a Trundle who can just kind of burst it down very swiftly.
Yeah, I mean, nobody ever wants to give up free objectives, right? Like, so...
Exactly. Oh, but an objective might just be converted. Hasm taking so much of this front load, and oh no, Evil Lobster connects the final blow, and that's going to do it at this point, though, without that Camille. Obviously not in the best position in this game, but they certainly are a pillar you don't want to fight without, and now we don't see anybody really rallying around with... Oh, maybe we will. Yeah, no, nobody's even going to try and fight for this. We do see a tower on the bot side potentially going to be falling down due to Chicken Jockey over there, and that might be a decent trade with a couple of hundreds of gold, but Prow looking rough. Ham Scooter trying to keep him alive, trying to keep the front of this damage. However, that might possibly lead to their own demise, and oh, maybe not. Maybe nobody will fall, and it will just be the Otacon to convert in exchange for a tower.
Yeah, I mean, really well done over on the side of Scooter, and to keep his homie alive. But Never Saw is definitely doing damage now. The Miramana is finished.
I'm liking this a lot. I think that the 6 Void Grubs definitely, like... I think at this point, what I would personally do is just, like, you 4-1, and then, like, you just send 4 people mid, and then just send the Trundle either bot or top, and then, like, oh my god, you have to send at least 2 people to try and force them out, because they're already at 2 items. And obviously that doesn't sound like a whole ton, but when you're playing Trundle and have 6 Void Grubs, if you let a turret go for even a couple seconds, it will be demolished. So very, very difficult situation, especially with the lethal tempo online. Like, it's going to be rough. Mega Death Rocket's going to come online, able to connect, but not find a whole ton of damage. Never saw Will just be able to heal it all up with those plants, and it's not the end of the world. It's still just a 6 or 2k gold deficit, and realistically speaking, you got a lot of gold stored onto that Trundle, so if they're not in the fight, you're going to have to really pull out all the stops to win it.
Ooh. Oh. They didn't. Oh no, here you go.
Lots of engaging tools, and yep, there's going to be Prow instantly going with cease and desist. There's the next engagement coming on through. Scooter trying to find something with the ultimate, and not to find a whole ton. It will just be 1 kill, and 1 kill is definitely more than one would originally be asking for, and maybe they'll try and convert that into an extra, but no objectives on the clock, so realistically, that's going to do it. Prow possibly trying to engage, maybe with her Q, but the kick isn't going to really be seen anywhere, and Prow will just take a little bit of damage for their troubles. Going in for the flank. There's going to be the first engagement. Really just locking and down this Trundle. And Evil Lobster, despite their armor, will be taken down at Scooter in exchange, but it's a 2v3 situation, and you really don't want to engage on that if you are on this drop dead squad.
Yeah, so we didn't get really a chance to talk about it there. Kiwi did not get a chance to use their ultimate in that last fight. It was there was really well layered ultimate on the side of Scooter and everything like that to keep him from really being able to target himself, because he was trying to save it for somebody else, I think.
Evil Troy really just dropping in that self heal and trying to make something work, but nothing to really find. Prow able to get away scot-free, and seems like both sides are just going to start resetting a little bit, and Baron's going to be up 37 seconds. Both teams definitely going to want to let that go in their favor, but the question is going to be who would win that. I think in the skirmish position, you do kind of have to favor the side of Drop Dead Gaming right now, just due to the fact that their gold lead is so heavy. What are your thoughts on it? Because the skirmishing power definitely would favor in a traditional situation that opposite side of lane 0.
Has him, watch out. Oh no. Okay, he's out of
It has him in no real danger there. Just be able to get away and not really have to deal with the whole ton.
I mean, I'm kind of looking at items, right? Like, and you have a very big Renekton and a very big Trundle against a very big, like, Vi and a very big Orianna.
Yeah, I think
do want, like, an ideal team fighter, a couple of more picks if you're on the side of lane 0, I think. But it's not that bad. Like, it's only barely 1,000 gold lead, if that.
Oh, Evil Troy able to get the tower, and there will be a resurrection online quite swiftly. Since this comes out, trying to get something more. So far, though, it's not going to get a lot. Locket's activated. It's a 3v2 situation, but as we see, lots of players coming in on the flank. There's Hasm down to very swift HP, and we will see Brandy fans starting to engage on them. Connects the kill, and now it's all going to be Scooter to really try and take this damage, and will be taking it. Nobody to fall, so they do just going to let their team stay alive, and at this point we see the entirety of Drop Dead Gaming starting to rally up towards that Baron.
Yeah, I mean, this Baron should be able to just kind of drop freely. I wouldn't contest this. They can't really contest this. This is going to have to be the sickest command shockwave in the world here in a second. I guess
Oh, Proud. They want to fight this. Proud possibly getting called out, but the Baron's going to fall. There's the start, and oh, might be doing something. Resurrection's going to be there, though, and Evil Lobster's finding the first. That's the heaviest player in the game, but Verticality just stuck between the rock and a hard place. Now it's up to Chicken Jockey to make something happen. But right now, it's going to be the flank coming online. Hextech Ultimatum going on and not finding much. Evil Troy possibly getting called out for their over-aggression. Lots of players at detrimental HP, but Neversaw's going to be able to find the first. Has him going in, trying to make something happen. There's Evil Troy back into the roster. Lobster and fighting for their team, and that's done it. Never saw connect to the next. Despite a rough start after game one, they've re-envisioned themselves and they know what they need to do. Marching down the mid lane, looking to get everything. Hey, I'm Scooter, last one alive, and they will not even attempt to contest.
No, I mean this is gonna be the march of death here at this point. If you're over there, man, they're even confirming, like they're even setting up for Drake's Soul if they need it.
Oh god, that's 2 towers down already.
Cool. Yeah, I mean we'll just kind of watch that 2 or 3 more times, I think, and then the game will be over by then for sure. I think that Drop Dead gaming sort of does too much damage at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It seems like Drop Dead Gaming all but won this series, and it was as we were told in the pregame during Otter Talk. It seemed like a 2-1 would not be even on the cards, and yep, it seems as if that's the case. And oh my gosh, look at that damage! Absolutely just bursting him down without a second thought. Look at this, absolutely damaged, just dealing everything. Briny fans getting the next, and the locket activated for really no benefit. Chicken Jockey dealing with the Lobster, going straight on in, burying him with his claws, and now 22 kills, 11 on the opposite side. That's a 2.0 advantage, and oh god, Lane 0, Dorado, under commence fire, dropping a second inhibitor, and that might have done it. 4 players dead, only up to Hasm, and nothing to remain. The Titans, the number 1 seed of the Masters Division, have been crumbled. Drop Dead Gaming go up 3-1, making their way to the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean that was they played it really well. It's showing that these leagues are honestly anybody's. You know, I think, what was it, 2 weeks ago you had DDG drop a match outside of cards, if I'm not crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Drop Dead Gaming, they were in the 3rd seed. Lane 0 Dorado reject in that number 1 position, but despite it, it did not matter. Drop Dead Gaming took the win and have brought themselves to a 7-3 map differential. Now, Lane 0 Dorado rejects, they're going to be at 6-3, so it's a very rough situation for them. They're going to drop down to, I believe that's going to be 2nd. Still, though, Min Superior, Akuma, both teams that have very much prospects of being able to take that number 1 spot. So definitely no way that this series or this season has been finished out by this match, but it definitely looks good. A strong performance from everyone on this Drop Dead Gaming roster. Because of that, with their jungler pulling out all the stops, their mid laner, despite game 1, game 2, absolutely rolling after a little bit of a slower start on game 2. Like, literally everyone on this team putting up a masterclass performance. You got to give them props where props is due.
Yeah, they really did. They came in and they had everything to prove, and they proved it. We've got chat talking about Verts giving a written apology, and everything like that. So, you know, we might see an announcement in the Trash Talk channel or something whenever that pops around, and in the regular Discord. So,
well, that
man.
was because I asked, like, if we see a win here, will we be getting a written apology? And yeah, it seems like it's going to be happening. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But Feedonomics, you got any last thoughts before we head out here?
Nah, man. Just, you know, maybe don't let carries get on a tear.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely dominant. But that is going to be it for us at the Blue Otter Master Division. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to Shivam, our lovely producer, for having a great setup going into game 1. A little bit of a scuff, but it did not matter. We saw masterclass performances from both teams showing us their absolute dominance. But that is going to do it here. And yeah, see you later next week for epic Master Division gameplay.
Later, guys.
such a misfit, always ready to brawl. It's like her business, roughing up your friends is the law. There is no difference if you believe you're strong. She's a bulldozer, making sure you're flat on the ground. She's like a boomerang that never gives up. She flies a circle so she hits you and you're bowed in the dust. So just remember this, when she's chasing you down, face first you'll be thrown into the proving ground. She'll knock you out. Have you ever really wanted to be a total rebel, flipping tables on the enemy? Did you ever try to further improve how fast you punch people through the roof? Oh, was there ever any certain time when you thought brute force and style combined? Well, I guess now's time to shine, 'cause finally she's here. Here comes mine. As a matter of fact, the best bet one has is to quickly react to the first attack that's taking over the world. She'll never go back, just risk it. Have you ever really wanted to be a total rebel, flipping tables on the enemy? Did you ever try to further